team has decided the All-Star guard will not play or practice with the Nets until he can become a full participant. The statement continues to say, quote, Kyrie has made a personal choice, and we respect his individual right to choose. Currently, the choice restricts his ability to be a full-time member of the team, and we will not permit any member of our team to participate with part-time availability. So, Shannon, does this mean now Kyrie will be traded?
It's imperative that we continue to build chemistry as a team and remain true to our long-established values of togetherness and sacrifice.
Aha.
I've been saying this all along. Now, what this tells me, Woj reported that Kevin Durant and James Harden has been consulted on this.
I believe
With this statement, we already know. I keep trying to tell people, you think you got power. You don't. They got it. Now, they say, you know what, Kyrie? Now, when you want to get vaccinated and make sacrifices like everybody else has made, we welcome you back with open arms. But until then, we don't do the part-time. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, do people understand? Imagine you get hired for a job, you work a year, and then all of a sudden you tell your boss, I'm only going to work half the year, but I still want you to pay me. And I'm going to decide what days I'm going to work.
And by the way, you make $33 million a year.
Okay. And they say, look, nobody is going to be able to participate with Kyrie on a limited basis. You either all in or you're all out. Now, the choice is yours. Now, one of two things are going to happen. Either Kyrie's going to get vaccinated, or they're going to move on with Kyrie. It's as simple as that, Skipper. They're like, we're not finna go back and forth with Kyrie. Our goal is to win a championship, not go back and forth with, is Kyrie in or is Kyrie out? I think the Nets were like Shannon Sharp. I was under the impression that he was going to get the vaccine. I'm sure they were also. And then it became abundantly clear Kyrie's not going to get the vaccine. Then it became abundantly clear to those higher-ups, Kevin Durant and James Harden and Sean Marks and Steve Nash. Like I said, I believe Steve Nash was ready to move on a long time ago.
You're probably right.
Okay. You see what it is? I don't believe he plays with it. He gonna get that vaccine or he getting traded. Those are the only two options, Skip. I mean, it's not like he got A, B, C, D, or all the above. He only got two options, vaccine or trade. That's it.
Okay. Bottom line, good for the Nets. Good for Sean Marks and Steve Nash, but especially for Kevin Durant and James Harden, because they had to sign off on this.
Absolutely.
And they said enough is just enough. As a group, they just called Kyrie's hand. They called his bluff. They just threw it right back in his court and said, hey, if you don't want to do this, and Sean Marks said it best, we respect his right to choose. They do. I do. You do. Everybody. If that's what you want or don't want, go do it. Don't get vaccinated. Become a conspiracy theorist, if that's what you want to do. Become a visionary, an against-the-grain, mold-breaking thinker. That's what Kyrie at heart wants to be. Sometimes he says we're artists here, and his art is basketball, but he's got a mind in him. He's got high IQ. He sees through things, and I love that about him. He tries to think below the surface, and he sees some things I don't see, but who am I to say that he's wrong? He thinks this vaccine is evil. He thinks it's, quote-unquote, a government plot. Whatever he thinks, that's fine.
To do what?
To control. Control him, control the black community, who knows? But we've heard all this, and I don't buy it. You don't buy it. Apparently, none of his teammates are buying it at this point. And yet, if he wants to continue to buy and sell that, it's fine. Go do it.
Do that on your own time.
But don't do it on our time. Because, unfortunately for Kyrie, as an artist, he's not a painter, he's not a sculptor, he's not an actor. He's a basketball player, and it requires, you can't go as a solo act to an arena.
As a team said, he needs to play tennis or golf.
He could play tennis or golf because you can't go to the Barclays Center by yourself on any given night and sell it out because I'm going to put on a dribbling exhibition, I don't think they'll do it. They might do it one night, but they won't do it for 41 games, right? Okay, so here we go. And as I told you, within the team concept, I'm offended by this. And I think ultimately they're offended. They let it go for what we've been doing now for almost 3 weeks of it. Yeah, they let it go, and they let Kyrie be Kyrie.
Well, they let it go, Skip. They let it go all summer because the vaccine rolled out. Now, obviously, they're a younger player. They're in a younger group, so they were probably the last. But the NBA says, okay, this is what we expect to happen. This is what we'd like to happen. So they gave everybody 2-3 months. Do all the research that you want. We got team doctors. We pay millions and millions of dollars to. The best. They can get access to people that the average person can't get access to, Skip.
Absolutely.
And it says,
He's
okay.
got the best information at his fingertips. The best.
But he chose to go on Google and Google some stuff in a chat room. Well, if that's what you want to do, because he says something Sean Mark says something very interesting. Sacrifices.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do as a team. Because a lot of times, Skip, guys would have study. Well, I need to, I got this for my kid. I need to do this. But that's the sacrifice. If you want to be great, Skip, people are like, you need a balance in your life. Not if you want to be great. There is no balance to greatness. Because I can promise you, anybody that's ever ascended up here, forget sports, I'm talking about life in general, there is no balance.
There's no balance. You have to pay a severe price that can affect your personal life, your home life.
Absolutely.
It's what is required. And Kyrie does not want to pay that price right now, and they're all cool with it.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, but now it's time to move.
Right.
So I'm going to assume that the clock is ticking. He's going to get another grace period of, I'm going to just guess. Maybe they'll give it a month or so. Are you?
Right.
Because
that's his money.
Now he's on notice. Yeah, and he's going to start losing money.
Absolutely.
But remember, Andrew Wiggins finally said, I got to do this. I want my kids to have generational wealth. Okay, so he just said, it's for me. I don't love this. I don't believe in it, but I got it because I'm doing it for my kids. I think Kyrie's made a lot more money than Andrew Wiggins has over his career.
Right.
So I don't think it's a matter of money for Kyrie. It seemed like even for Ben Simmons, it became somewhat a matter of money, right? But not for Kyrie. He's good. I think. I don't know his finances.
Well, I never heard nobody say they got too much of it.
I agree with that.
Skip, that's the one thing. There's two things I've never heard people say they have too much of. Time and money.
Yep. You're correct about that. But he's now on notice.
Yes.
And they'll give him this little period of, okay, now you know how we feel. We're ready to move on. Are you or are you not? And if we go another whatever X, maybe a month, then I think he's on the trading block.
They didn't bull jiving around with Kyrie. Now, Nick Wright said weeks ago that it was brought to him that if they trade Kyrie, Kyrie will retire. Well, then they say that's not our problem. If we trade you, we don't care what you do after. We don't care. We don't.
Man, I am so disappointed in him because I'm going to drive home this perspective one last time. This team is the best team.
Yes.
This team is favored by everybody, consensus favorite, pretty solid favorite to win this year's championship. And he is just he is derailing it. That's what he is doing. And yet they're willing to say, hey, we'll pull our ranks together and we'll go on.
We'll go it alone.
And I watched them last night, and they're still a pretty good team without him.
Yes.
Because they added Patty Mills, and Marcus Aldridge came back, and Millsap.
Yes.
And they've got some firepower there.
Ben Simmons, you want to play in Brooklyn?
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's the latest. We'll see how it plays out right now, guys. Did the Ravens, though, unlock Lamar Jackson's full potential? Last night in their Brooklyn facility. That's the latest. So, Shannon, how will this play out?
I mean, would one consider KD the general manager? Because, that was reported by the guy here in L.A., he's the general manager of the Lakers. Oh. We talk about that. I'm sure we'll get around to that. We'll get around to that a little later.
Reported by whom?
Hey, you know who reported by? Skip Bayless. That's who reported.
That guy.
Skip, I believe if Kyrie is as dug in on this situation about vaccination, I think it's a matter of time before he gets traded. James Harden and KD are in a win-now mode. Skip, I don't know how, because everybody says they don't. Kevin Durant is like, I just want to hoop. I don't want to do anything but a hoop. After every game, you think Kyrie's going to get vaccinated? Would you have won this game if you had Kyrie? How much more dangerous would you be if you had Kyrie? That's after every game for 41 games. Well, 42 when you go to the Warriors. Well, I think outside. Can outside players play? I think outside players can come play in that building.
Yep.
So Skip, it's a huge distraction, and I don't know if KD and James Harden want to deal with this after every game. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they got a 6-game stretch in where they play home games. So 6 games, Kyrie not going to be. Kyrie is perfectly healthy.
They do. Right away, they have a 6-game homestand.
Perfectly healthy. He can play.
Yep.
But nah, we're going to be without Kyrie.
Yep.
I just don't see a way around it. I just don't see how those guys are going to be willing to put up at some point in time. Yeah, we're friends, but we got a job to do. And if only 2 of us is doing our job, I don't really know if we can get another player, because I believe they have enough to win. And with Ben